Welcome back, everyone. This is Manta back to the video. And in this video, I'll be doing an overview of Black Manta and King, how do you pronounce his name? King Kordax from the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom movie wave. I'll be talking about the figures itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at each box. We'll start off with Black Manta, which I'm really looking forward to. Front of the box, the side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. And then we'll do King Kordax. I'm just going to call him King. Front of the box, the side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at each figure outside the box. As always, they do come with a card. This is what the card looks like for Black Manta. The back of the card. And put it over here. Front of the card looks like for King. The back of the card. Then Black Manta comes with these flames on here, pretty like orange and red. Or you put it in the back of Black Manta so you can make it seem like he's kind of like rocket and stuff. Not rocket, but his what is it called? Wow, I just spaced out. His thing in the back. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. But you know what I'm talking about. So there's two of them. Pretty cool. And then Black Manta does come with a flying stand. So no puck with Black Manta, but there is a flying stand. And then for King, it comes with a trident. A black trident. Pretty cool looking. Very plain looking trident, which is fine. And in terms of the flimsiness, yeah, it's pretty flimsy. So most likely, it's going to warp. And it does come with a puck stand. So let's take a look at each figure. We'll start off with Black Manta in terms of the articulation. So here you go, left, right on the head. Ooh, be careful because you might hit this, so be warned about that. Up, down. Up, down's not the greatest. I mean, it's fine. It's not the greatest though. Up, left, right. Shoulder articulation. Bicep. Elbows. Wrist. Torso. Ooh, pretty good torso. Swivel. Leg. Knee. Ankle. Ankle is not that great because of the actual pants or whatever the suit is called right here. It's hitting right there. And toes. There you go. Toes as well too. So overall, the articulation on Black Manta, it's good overall. Just delimited in terms of the ankle and a little bit on the helmet. Now let's talk about this figure. Right away, this helmet looks really nice. This headpiece looks great. It has that classic look, Black Manta. Obviously not really classic, but you get what I'm saying though. So it has a nice bright eyes on there. You got the nice bright silver paint on there. You got a little sculpture design there. Or detail, and also too around the eyes you have more of that detail here. Then you got more right there as well too, and you do have some scuff marks underneath the helmet, which I actually like that. I don't know if it's by design, but mine has scuff marks, and I actually like that. It makes it look like it's been used. And then more scuff marks on the top, and here's the back of it as well too. You guys can see that. Then you got here, I'm assuming like the hoses or whatever you call this. Very detailed actually on the actual hoses. They're a bit flimsy, so be careful because I feel like one certain tug, it might rip, so be careful with that. But then here you have his rocket backpack or jetpack. There we go, jetpack. That's what it's called, jetpack on here. And you can see the holes right here. Obviously, you put the flames just like so. Looks like he's using his jetpack. And so look at the detail on there in the jetpack. Pretty clean looking. Got that nice painted silver. I just noticed mine is paint is chipping, and you can see right there. Damn, this wave, I've been getting some bad ones. I mean, I got the Aquaman gold armor. Pretty darn bad. Like the underwear, it was like hitting. kind of like where it is right here, but it's not too bad. And then now I got Black Manta with the paint chipping. So, see that right there? Right there. Man, what's up with that? Man, this whole wave hasn't been good to me, so I may return it. I don't know, depending how I feel so far. But anyway, so here's the jetpack, which looks pretty cool. And then you have the upper body. The arms itself, they're pretty clean looking, just black with a little bit of blue. And I actually want to talk about that because in the images, even on the back of the card, not the back of the card, the back of the box, but even on the card, it's like an all black suit, right? But yet, he has a little bit of blue. Is it just mine or does it look like this? Leave it in the comment section. But you got a little gear on there, on his bicep, also on his wrist. And very clean, plain looking in terms of the arm. Not much to it. A little bit of muscle tone. And you got the blue on the back on the actual elbows. The upper body, or the torso I should say, it's just going to be plain muscle tone suit on there. But a little bit of the blue. You can see that perfectly right there, what I mean by blue. So I thought it was all black, but it's actually not. It's all good though. And then over here you have, same thing that's over here in the arms. It's going to be present on his right arm. But on this arm, you do have this piece right there, nice bright silver piece, which looks nice, pretty detail on there. And then blue on the back, trigger hands, and that's pretty much it in terms of the upper body. Oh, you got a little bit of design right there in the back too. See that right there? Pretty cool, nice painted silver. And that's pretty much it in terms of actual Black Manta. The helmet looks really, really good. Like I said, almost like a classic looking Black Manta. And the body itself, it's pretty plain looking, to be honest with you. But the main highlight's going to be that nice, huge, alien looking helmet. And of course, the jetpack, which is pretty darn cool. But unfortunately, mine does have the scuff paint, which I think I can probably patch it up. Just get like a little bit of like a bright silver paint. I can just patch it up a little bit. But apart from that, though, the upper body, it's a good looking Black Manta. So if you're looking for a plain looking Black Manta, here we go. I just noticed right now too, on the sides you have more of that gears on there. You can see that as well. Take a look at the lower body. The lower body in terms of the sculpture is pretty clean looking. You have similar gears that are actually on here on the arm, also present on the outside of the thigh. And I'm assuming it's going to be like some kind of armor piece, but it looks like it's all just one design. You got more of that blue paint on there, and then of course the black paint. The knees have that blue paint, and then there's the boots on there, which is pretty plain looking, not much to it on the boots. And there's a lot of blue on the feet as well too. Here's the back. The back is pretty plain looking as well too. He does do some squats, not a whole lot, but it's something. And that's pretty much it in terms of the lower body. Not much detail on this particular figure. And so overall, I gotta say, it's a good looking Black Manta. If you're looking for more a comic accurate type of Black Manta, this is gonna be for you, because they did release another Black Manta and some people didn't like it. They liked it and appreciated it, but well, you'll see what I mean when I compare it. But this particular figure though, I gotta say, it's a good looking Black Manta. It's the blacks and the blues. Mine does came with the scuff paint, but apart from that though, great looking Black Manta figure, and I'm really liking this figure. Simple design, clean looking, yes, but again, that's how Black Manta looks like, so I'm digging it. Now let's take a look at King. We'll start off with the articulation. So left, right. Oh, it's a little stiff, but it's there, but it's a little stiff. Be careful with this. Up, down, not the greatest. Shoulder, oof, I can get shoulder. This is a stiff figure. There is shoulder articulation. It does hit right here because of this piece right here. Keep that in mind. Bicep, elbows, wrist. If I can figure out how it articulates. Is it like this? Wow, this is a very stiff figure. It does articulate in terms of the wrist. Not the greatest, but it's fine, I guess. Torso is okay. It's okay leaning back. Forward is not the greatest. Swivel. We'll do leg articulation. It's hitting right here, so it's a bit limited. Knees. Ankles. Also hitting right there too. And of course, toes as well. So the articulation on this figure, it's not the greatest, to be honest with you. It does hit some parts here and there, so if you're a particular collector who likes to pose a certain way, well, unfortunately, this one's going to be limited, though. Now, let's talk about the figure in terms of the figure itself. Man, this figure is a standout. It is an attention grabber. Look at this headpiece right here. First off, look at that paint and that detail. You got like light gray with green with a little bit of brown. Then you got the eyes painted black right here. I'm assuming these are the eyes right here. And then you got the painted teeth, which is like orange. It just looks ugly looking. But it also looks really unique and badass. More of that wavy paint on there. White. Just look at all of that detail on this headpiece. It looks incredible. And again, for the price that you're paying for this particular figure, it looks incredible, man. This looks fantastic. And again, for the price that you're paying for this, you have to admit, this looks really, really, really good. Then you have the shoulder armor piece, whatever you call it. More detail and more of that white paint that's here, also present there. And then you have the arms, so much like branches, or I don't know what you want to call it. This reminds me of like Swamp Thing. I can see this being like a Swamp Thing figure, like a normal size one. But just look at that paint and that detail. You got a mixture of light browns with green, with of course with dark gray, light gray, and of course a little bit of white. Look at that form right there too. Just that detail, all of that. Then you have the open hand here. Again, just look at that detail. Just look at that. This incredibly looking figure, even though the articulation's limited, but it does make up for it with all of that detail. Just look at this. Look, come on. You have to admit, this is so much detail. And for what you're paying, for 20 bucks, come on. You have to admit, this is a great looking figure. And then we have the cape. I like the cape. Very stylized. That thick textured. And it has a certain texture of a cape. It's not your typical texture feel, but it looks incredible. And then you get all that detail. You got, it's ripped up right there. And also on the bottom as well, too. It's kind of ripped. I like that. It makes it pop even more. And again, stylized. Just brown. I wish it was more white. If it had like a little bit of white or green, I think it would really pop. But it's just plain dark brown. And then here is the upper body. Oh, man, what a great looking figure. Just look at all of that detail. They got the painted greens on there. The light brown, of course, the light grays. It just looks incredible. And this is like, oh, it's one of those figures where the more you look at it, the more you're like finding a little detail. Like I just noticed this right here on the side as well too, and here as well too, right there. Again, just so much detail on this figure, and it also looks really, really ugly. But it's one of those figures to where you don't like it because it just looks weird and ugly. But at the same time, you like it because it looks weird and ugly. And this is definitely going to be one of those figures to where you have a display, it's going to be grabbing people's attention. And so the upper body, I got to say, incredible detail. The paint, the color palette just looks incredible. And then, let me see. I can't see the back of it. Not too much on the back. But you got looks like a spine in there in the back. And so, overall, this upper body, I gotta say, incredible looking figure. Fantastic. This just looks amazing. Just so much detail. And again, for the price that you're paying for it, for 20 bucks, come on, you have to admit, this is a great looking figure. Then let's take a look at the lower body. You have here, whatever this is called. You got white with the dark brown, a little bit of black of shadowing. More detail in the back as well, too, of this thing. I don't know what you call it. Right? And then you got the back of the legs. Just look at all that detail. Unfortunately, the back of the legs paint, it's not as detailed in terms of the paint compared to the front, but at least it's a sculptor. That's pretty good. Right? And let's take a look at the front. The front has more paint on it. Let me see. There you go. There you go. More paint on it. You got that green, a little bit of light brown, and of course that white. And just look at the knee pads too. That just looks nasty looking. Then you got the shin guards as well too, right here. And the feet as well too. Again, so much detail. So much detail on this King figure. And I'm into it. Like I said, weird looking, yes. Ugly looking, absolutely. But does it look cool and badass? Heck yeah. And so, again, this figure, it's not for everyone. I'll say that right now. And I can already tell people are not going to buy it because it's not for them. Understandable. But you have to admit and you have to appreciate for the money that you're paying to get all of this kind of detail and paint, especially the headpiece, you have to admit it's a pretty darn good deal for the money. So, of course, the main question is it really worth it? Should you go out and get these figures? Let's start off with Black Manta. Like I said, he's more of like a comic accurate. Not 100% comic accurate, but you get what I'm saying. So if you want a more subtle Black Manta figure, boom, there you go. You can get this one. Great detail, great color palette, blues and blacks, and of course a nice big helmet. Digging it, and then it's really, really bright silver. I like about that. The helmet has a nice bright silver, really pops. Now King, again, great detail, the paint, and for what you're paying, for the price, come on. For 20 bucks, heck yeah, it's a great deal. Now, it's not for everyone, like I said. So I can see so many people not buying and skipping it because, well, it's not for everyone. It's understandable. But again, for $20, come on, you have to admit, it's a pretty darn good deal. And so to me, paying $20 for each one, I think it's actually worth the price, especially King for what you're getting in terms of the detail in the figure. But I didn't get it during the Target sale and I paid 15 bucks each, so that's even better. Apart from the price though, what I think about these figures, great looking figures. Like I said, the paint, the sculpture design, and if you like more classic comic accurate Black Manta, there you go. If you want a weird looking figure that's just going to grab your attention when you display it, here we have King. So overall, what do I give these two figures? Easily a thumbs up for me. Like I said, great looking figures. Great addition to the DC Multiverse. And more importantly, I'm glad that we got more comic accurate-ish Black Manta. Here we have Black Manta from the Aquaman movie, and of course, Black Manta from the Aquaman Page Puncher's Waves. Now, like I mentioned regarding the whole like comic accurate-ish Black Manta, well, look at this one. So much detail, so much sculpture design, and just everything about it is just too much. And I know a lot of people not so much didn't like it, but it's a little too much, because when you think of Black Manta, think of something like this, more plain, cleaner looking. So, if you want a more plain, cleaner looking Black Manta, boom, here you go. But to me, my favorite is still going to be the Page Punchers one, because the detail, the paint, just everything about this figure, it just, to me, it is just top notch. And again, for the price that you're paying, you get a comic and you get a figure like this, that's this detail. I don't know about you, I still think this is a great value for your money. Here we have Ocean Master, also from the Aquaman Page Puncher's Wave. So much detail. Again, this whole wave was fantastic for Page Punchers, but I want to show you a very detailed, very weird looking sculpture design figure. Mediocre, and of course, more plain looking Black Manta figure. But also wanted to show you how another Aquaman villain looks compared to, or how it looks compared to the other villains from the movie. Here we have Aquaman from the Page Puncher's Wave of Aquaman. Great looking figure. To me, this is still probably the best one so far. But similar to the Black Manta one, it's going to be present here on the Aquaman. It's a little too much for some people in terms of the detail and all that for this Aquaman. So, to me, this is probably the best one so far. Here we have Aquaman from the Aquaman Lost Kingdom movie wave, the stealth suit, next to, of course, two of the villains, Black Manta and King. I'm assuming this is the villain. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the movie. But anyway, so this is a great looking figure. The detail, and you just really appreciate the paint job on this. I'm telling you, when you get this figure and you see it in person, that paint is just going to pop, because it's going to be black with green and blue in certain angles. So great looking figure, and again, just showing you how this figure looks standing next to his nemesis. Here we have Aquaman again, the stealth suit, but this time him being transparent. And you know what, I'll say this right now, when I first saw it and they announced it like a transparent, I was like, this is stupid, who would buy that? Well, here I am today buying that figure, and to me, this is going to be top notch. Again, I'm a sucker for gimmick. It is a gimmick figure. I get it. I know it's silly and dumb. But sometimes when you have a hobby like this, you gotta enjoy the silliness and dumbness of it sometimes. And so to me, out of these three, I'm gonna go for this one for the price. Again, it's gimmicky, I know, but it's a lot of fun. Just look at that. Look at, you can see between his legs. You know, here's Aquaman standing next to his two villains, and then we have Aquaman's main villain right there. If you know what I'm talking about, well, you know, you know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on these figures? Do you plan to purchase these figures? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This goes an overview of the Black Manta and King from the Aquaman The Lost Kingdom movie wave. And on to the next one.